What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Warcraft Wednesday. Now, I know what you're thinking. If you're watching this the day it came out, you're thinking to yourselves, or you're saying out loud, dude, it's Saturday. Yeah, the video's late. Apologize, guys. Anyway, let's get into it. Today, we are talking specialization swapping in Legion, in World of Warcraft Legion, the new expansion. So, we are going to time travel back to November, BlizzCon 2015. The question was asked at a Q&A, can we please have 3 specs? And this was referring to tri-spec or quad-spec in terms of like druids. The answer? No. Just kidding. Sure, we'll do that. As a matter of fact, if you're a druid, we'll even let you have 4. As a matter of fact, we're just gonna let you tri-spec and quad-spec in Legion. So, first of all, they trolled the guy, and then they said, you know, it's actually in the works, we're doing that, it's gonna happen, so yes, it is coming in Legion. So, there was much rejoicing, May! That happened, you know, so it was great. We all got the hype train going. We can now do every single spec. They mentioned that with the artifact weapons, it is going to be like really difficult to, you have to put in a lot of effort if you want to power up more than one artifact weapon. So it's going to be a tough thing. If you want to do like all 3 or all 4 for your druid, it's going to be freaking crazy. You're going to have to play a lot of this game. Either way, you know, it's exciting because now we can, now if I want to play all 3 specs, I don't have to have 2 paladins to play all 3 paladin specs, even though, you know, you all know I have about 3 or 4 level 100 paladins. I don't really remember anymore. But that's besides the point. Now, on my shaman, which I really don't want to level another shaman, I can play all 3 specs. Right now I'm Enhancement and Resto. Now I can do Enhancement, Elemental, and Resto. It's going to be great. So now we're going to fast forward to just about a week or... January 20th. January 20th? That's about January 20th, somewhere around there. So it popped up on the Legion Alpha. Legion spec swapping posted on MMO Champion. Legion removes the dual spec limitation in favor of allowing players to use all of their specs. Now, you read that, the first sentence, removes dual spec limitation. What does that mean? Like, it's a little vague right now, and I'm not on the alpha, so I cannot give you a clear cut, you know, this is how it is on alpha. Going on, switching between specs currently costs 100 gold in alpha, but this is just a placeholder. It is free to switch back to whichever spec you have set as your primary spec. So, this is a little bit strange. So, like, if you can switch back to your main spec for free whenever you want, that's great. But if I want to switch to, you know, Holy for the night from Prot, I have to pay 100 gold? That really sucks. And I know that right now it's just a placeholder, blah, blah, blah. Warcraft devs tweeted out, or there was somebody tweeted at Warcraft devs, I'm hearing that it costs 100 gold every time if you want to switch specs in the alpha. Is that intentional or a bug? And Warcraft devs replied, the 100 gold is purely a placeholder at the moment. We are still working out what the cost will be. Now that is actually kind of scary that they said we're still working out what the cost will be. There's going to be a cost. I mean, right now, you know, for the past how many years we've had dual spec and it is free. You know, you pay a one-time fee to gain the ability to swap specs between your 2 specs whenever you want. I'm a little confused why we're not just literally doing tri-spec, quad-spec, and just being like, yeah, just switch between all your specs whenever you want. I mean, there's enough gold sinks in this game right now. There doesn't need to be any more, honestly. So, obviously, there has been a lot of nerd rage over this. I nerd raged to my friends a little bit. I don't think I nerd raged over Twitter at all, but it was very nerve-wracking. You know, you don't like to hear this. You don't like to hear that something that you've had for free for how many years, all of a sudden you have to start paying for in some way, shape, or form. Moving on to the very next day. I think this was posted the very next day. So, again, posted on MMO Champion. Yeah, spec swapping Legion. Yesterday we talked about the 100 gold placeholder cost for swapping specs in Legion. Celestalon pointed out that there are other costs than gold that could be used. At Warcraft devs from Celestalon discussing what, if any, cost is right. Be it gold, reagents, time, limitations, cosmetics, whatever, is very interesting. At Warcraft devs continued, discussing the 100 gold specifically, however, is not so interesting, since that's purely a placeholder. So it's not going to cost 100 gold. That's basically what he is saying. If you want to like read into it, you know, he is almost 100% saying, no, it's not going to cost 100 gold. That doesn't sound fun. It's not interesting to discuss. That's not what it's going to be. But what they are saying, it could be gold. It doesn't have to be necessarily 100 gold. It could be reagent, could be time. There could be some other limitations. I'm not sure what they mean by cosmetics, though. But regardless, still coming from my perspective as someone who has been around since they introduced dual spec, I'm not happy that I'm going to have to start paying for something that I've had for free for so long, you know? Even if it is reagents, you know, you got to buy reagents. Even if it is time or some sort of other limitations, you know? So I swap specs and like, so maybe we want to try having a warrior tank this fight instead of having me on my paladin tank this fight. Okay, I'll go ret. But now I have to wait 20 minutes before I can go back to prot because we'll do one pull and we say, no, that was a bad idea. Go back to prot. Well, I can't. I got to wait 20 minutes, guys. Sorry. That would suck. That would really be terrible. So I'm not a fan of the time limitations. I just assumed they meant time for that also, or maybe amount of spec swaps per day. I'm not sure. Like reagent or gold really seems to be the only viable option for it right now. So this has been my little nerd rage rant about this subject for a little bit here. But the biggest thing to come out of this is, you know, I waited a long time to do this video because I wanted to let it mull over me. I wanted to, you know, let it sink in and understand the fact that this is alpha. None of this is going to be the same, you know. Everything is about to change. Everything is constantly changing on the alpha. Everything's going to change once it gets to beta. Everything's going to change once it gets to PTR. And then everything is going to change once the game actually releases, you know? Nothing that is going on right now is going to be exactly the same in several months when Legion actually comes out. So there's no reason to really get that angry about it, guys. You know, there's good reason to tell Warcraft devs and Celestalon and all those, you know, guys on Twitter, you know, this is how I feel about it. I don't like it, and that's just how I feel about it right now. I do not like the fact that I have to pay 100 gold to change my specs when right now I'm changing my specs for free, just only between two, you know. And I'm sure they also love to hear, you know, what are your ideas? What do you think would be a good idea for spec swapping? Should we just have you pay like 300 gold and that gives you the ability to do quad and tri-spec? You know, so let them know. Tweet at them to let them know what they're thinking about. Comment on this video. What do you think should be used for, you know, the cost, the quote-unquote cost of switching specs in Legion, okay? There's my rant. Rant done. I'm not upset about it. I don't like the 100 gold placeholder, but it's just a placeholder. I'm interested to see what they come up with for the option, at least for right now. Like, what are they thinking? I hope they communicate that to us fairly soon, because the internet is a little bit angry about this. I'm getting over it pretty quick, but I am someone who utilizes the changing specs quite frequently. I love all the different specs in the game. I want to utilize all the different specs in the game. All right, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. One last thing quick before you guys go, there is one other way that you can support me besides subscribing and liking this video. Is you can head on over to patreon.com/coregaming21 and you can find out different ways you can support me over there. All right, thanks again for watching. See you guys later.